Hey everyone, this is Pyro, and here's the ledge trapping guide video. For this video, I'll be doing it live unlike most of my other ones because it'll take a lot of explaining to do. So first off, for Duck Hunt's ledge trapping guide, I'm using two controllers to set everything up. And this is the basic ledge trap that you want. So let's just pause the game here for a second. The point of this ledge trap is to cover as many options as possible. By having can at the ledge, you immediately challenge your opponent's ability to do a normal getup. So with the normal getup being the first option we're going to go over, let's look over it now. So here's Lucina doing a normal getup, and if we see this duck position with Duck Hunt, we can immediately ping the can. Now you see there that Lucina ended up dodging it because she was invincible. Now that's just part of the timing you have to learn. Part of the timing you have to learn is that you don't want to preemptively ping the can if you think your opponent's going to do a normal getup. You want to keep your can in the position right there if you think they're going to do a normal getup. So let's reset this. So we're going to have Lucina at the ledge. We have can at the ledge. Lucina does a normal getup, but we don't ping the can. And the first thing that the player would normally do here in this position is they'd hold shield. Well, now this gives the opportunity for Duck Hunt to grab. What the opponent might do is that, let's say we put this down, we go here, opponent does a normal getup, and when they see us coming at them and they expect grab, they'll spot dodge. Because they spot dodge with can still in front of them, and let's say Duck Hunt whiffs a grab in that position, so let's reset this. Lucina goes to ledge, we have can here. Normal getup shield, maybe they try to spot dodge the grab attempt. We can still hit them after the spot dodge with the can. So in that position, we're still covering the normal getup option, even if we miss a grab after your opponent does normal getup. The other option, let's say then, is one that's pretty common, in that if there's a can at ledge, they do a normal getup, they shield to dodge the can, and then they roll in expecting us to run in for the grab. Well, if they roll in that position and you call it out, then that's just a free up smash. Alright, so for the next one, we're going to do options the opponent can do after a roll. So let's say Duck Hunt puts the can at the ledge, and the opponent rolls. Rolls are pretty laggy, so you should be able to react to most rolls with an up smash. Let's say that you don't have enough time to punish the roll with an up smash. Another thing you can do is a pivot grab, and because your cannon's at the ledge, this opens up a good opportunity to get a throw can for a kill. So let's try set this up again. Opponent's at the ledge, they do a roll in, and then we can pivot grab them, and we can get a throw can combo because can was positioned at the ledge for it. So another one we can do is opponent rolls to get up, and we can down tilt them. That's one of them. Or if they're at a bit higher percent, opponent rolls on and we can F tilt them. F tilt and down tilt, I recommend to not be the first options that you choose if your opponent chooses a roll onto the ledge, mainly because you may end up in a position like this where can's at the ledge, but Duck Hunt creeped a bit more forward, so when they roll on, you'll just miss them with your F tilt. That's a position you don't want to be in. And that's why usually you always want to stay at the roll distance for your opponent. And depending on the character, you want to grab them or up smash them, depending on how easy it is to hit their roll onto stage with an up smash. Some characters can low profile Duck Hunt's up smash very well. It makes it hard for him to hit their roll on with an up smash. So the next thing, going back to covering your opponent's spot dodging immediately if they get up. So if the opponent gets up, so in this case, we can have our opponent do a get up, and let's say that we accidentally ping can, but your opponent still expects us to come in for a grab because we use the frames, we use the hit frames of can on their shield to cause enough hit stump for us to come in for a grab. So if the opponent gets their shield hit with a can in the corner, they usually expect Duck Hunt to come running in with a grab to check them afterwards. So if your opponent expects Duck Hunt to come in for a grab after their shield is hit by can, they'll usually spot dodge. If they usually spot dodge here, that's a good opportunity for Duck Hunt to go for an F tilt. So just a pretty normal idea. Opponent gets hit by a projectile in the corner, they expect Duck Hunt to come in and grab them. So after they let go of shield, they spot dodge, and that just gives Duck Hunt an opportunity to F-tilt them. That's a way to put a meaty hitbox in the corner that can cover a lot of options after your projectile hits their shield. The important thing for Duck Hunt to know here is that you don't have to commit all into a grab in the corner after you hit your opponent's shield with the can after a normal getup. You can still pick just poke options with F-tilt or setting up a gunman after your can fails in the corner to scare your opponent, to scare them for maybe a bit more reactionary options like trying to jump or trying to roll in. Okay, so for the next part, we're going to do what your opponent can do after a get-up attack. And get-up attack is pretty simple to do. So what happens here is that we set can in the corner. Opponent does a get-up attack, and they get F-smash for it. This is part of the duality of Duck Hunt staying at the roll distance to always catch a roll get-up. Part of Duck Hunt doing that is by Duck Hunt staying at the roll get-up attacks won't send Ken back into his face. So if the opponent ever tries to get-up attack from the corner, we can just read it, or we can react to it and punish it with an F-smash. That's why if there's any time you really want to practice your hyper awareness with the position of your can, the position of Duck Hunt, and the position of the opponent, the most important time to practice that is at the ledge, when you want to be able to react to whatever your opponent does for a kill. So that's why a lot of cheeky opponents will think, oh well, we can just get up attack the can if it's in the corner, and they will just get punished with an F smash. This is a way that steals a lot of stocks against opponents that are not familiar with the matchup. Okay, so for the next part is I'm gonna have to turn the speed to a different time here, but let's say now that our opponent wants to do a aerial from the ledge to push can away. So if it's in this position, we want Duck Hunt facing to the other direction, and let's just roll it out here. Oh, whoops, it's the wrong button. So if the opponent is in this position, this is a bit frame perfect, but what we can do is we can charge an F smash, and let's say the opponent keeps holding forward because they want to get back on stage. And as we can see, we can use the turnaround of a charged F smash to low profile the can coming back at us after a fair at the ledge. And if the opponent continues to think that, oh, well, we pushed the projectile out of the way, we can return back to stage with a jump aerial, then we can just punish this with an F smash. So that's one of the ideas you also want to have with Duck Hunt. When you're at the roll distance away from ledge, let's turn back on to regular speed. You want to be facing behind, because by facing behind, you can low profile that can coming back at you. Yeah, you can low profile the can coming back at you, and you don't really lose that much time by doing a turnaround F smash. Facing away from the stage might set up better than for also connecting an up smash on the roll. So let's say opponent rolls in. Oh, whoops, wrong button. So let's say opponent rolls in. By facing away from the ledge, it might set up better for an up smash punish, as well as that low profile earlier of the can. And the other idea that you want to run up and grab them or run up and F-tilt them, starting that position while facing backwards doesn't really lose you any time or any frames. The only thing this will lose you is maybe if you want to get a turnaround down tilt, or like an in-place turnaround down tilt if you're at the roll distance. But for the most part, you want to be pivot grabbing there. You want to be up smashing in this position, facing this way. So you want to be pivot grabbing. You want to be up smashing. You can even do, let's say, an opponent does a roll on and you're facing away from ledge. This is also a great position to go for a down smash instead of an up smash, because it will just kill earlier than the up smash usually. So those are ideas that you want. This does hurt the idea though of maybe punishing the roll on with an F tilt, because you see right there the F tilt has a blind spot kind of right in front of it if people is rolling on. This is something that a lot of Duck Hunts make a mistake of. They'll try to F tilt or roll on when they're facing backwards, and they'll end up getting that whiff hitbox. That's something I've seen Raito do a couple times. That's just something you have to be aware of at the ledge as a misplaced hitbox you can do. Another one that's an option is if opponent does, let's say, a roll on, we can hit it with an up tilt into an up air. This one's a good idea. It has decent active frames to land. The main problem with it though is that connecting up tilt into up air at kill percents is pretty difficult, so you may just end up dropping the combo and letting your opponent get away for free by rolling onto stage. So that's something that you should be aware of. Doing an up tilt to catch people rolling onto stage may not be the best option because of that. Okay, so for the next one, we've done roll get up, we've done normal get up, and we've done get up attack as well as jumping with an attack from the stage. So another one that your opponent might be cheeky to do is, let's say they go to ledge, we set up the can, and the opponent says, well, I'll just do a directional air dodge on the stage. This is something that can trick you up, but this is part of the hyper awareness that I talked about earlier with Duck Hunt. If your opponent tries to do cheeky things like directional air dodges on the stage to trick you up, so let's try do one where they directional air dodge down. If they try to do wave lines or any such thing, they still have quite a bit of lag, and you can still run up and grab them or run up and up smash them or F smash them for punishes if they try to get cheeky with these ideas. This is part of the hyper awareness that I talked about. These aren't the most common options you're going to see, but these are options that your opponent might try to pull out from the corner to trick you up. But all of these are reactable and punishable, so these are just things to keep aware of, things to keep in mind that your opponent may try to do to trigger up your ledge trap. Okay, so for the next thing is that let's say that your opponent thinks that, well, I will just hang at the ledge then. Let me try to set that again. That was not supposed to happen yet, but let's say that can isn't directly at the ledge. It's a bit over there, and your opponent thinks, well, I can just wait this out. Ooh. Okay, so we have can in this position, and let's say that our opponent grabs the ledge. One thing that we can do is we can just wait for can to explode here. So there we go. So one of the things that the opponent has to realize is that they can't really stay at the ledge forever. The important thing to know is that your opponent is on a timer at the ledge, and that even though they might think that, well, I can just wait the can out, they might eventually lose their jump. And the fact that because the can is on a timer, they really have to eventually pick an option at the ledge. That's the most important thing to understand with Duck Hunt here. A lot of people get tricked up by ledge options when the opponent waits for a longer time and they switch up their timing. Duck Hunt shouldn't be trying to guess the timing for any type of ledge get up from his opponent, because the opponent doesn't have the option to switch up their timing. The opponent will eventually have to pick an option, and that is the option that you want to be reacting to instead of guessing for Duck Hunt. So the opponent can't just sit at the ledge forever, because eventually either their ledge hang time will run out or the can will eventually explode on them. That's why something they might do is what I just showed right there. The opponent has the ability to try and maybe use a different move than a get up aerial to try and knock the can away. So in this way, the opponent might hit can back like this. This is an option that you'll see Ivysaur do a bit, because he has Vine Whip to knock the can away and push it out. If you see your opponent doing this option, okay, so let's put it on one frame, and if you see your opponent trying to do an option where they'll do, let's say, a disjointed up B to get back. There we go. So if your opponent tries to do, let's say, a disjointed up B from getting back, one thing you can do here for Duck Hunt is you can jump over it. And let's say you can then come back down on the other side with a down tilt or down air for pressure if your opponent tries to up B it. Another thing you can do is, another thing we can do in this position is, so there we go, the opponent hits can. Duck Hunt can shield the hit coming at him. And let's say we get a parry timing. one thing that duck hunt can do in this position is then go for an F smash. So let's just finish the parry timing. Yep, there we go. And this F smash may end up hitting below the ledge, although it's RNG dependent. So there we go, that distribution didn't hit below the ledge. But the idea here is that, well, even if your opponent can reset this position with a disjointed up B, duck hunt can then just reset it. Duck hunt can either choose to reset the position by throwing another can, or duck hunt may have ideas to run up and try to down tilt or F tilt the opponent hanging at the ledge. So the idea here is that even though the opponent might have a disjointed up B as a reset option to a ledge trap, you can just shield the can coming back at you and reset the position. So it's not something that you really have to worry about all that much. Okay, so now the last option we have to talk about, and the most important one, is the opponent jumping from ledge. So in this position, the opponent says, well, I don't want to deal with any of this, and I'm just going to jump away from ledge. And they can jump away from ledge with a hitbox, or they can jump away from ledge and air dodge. So the most important thing to understand about here is that if you expect your opponent to be jumping from the ledge, that is the one time you may want to make a read with pinging your can early. So let's go with this position again. So we have can at ledge, and we think, okay, the opponent might jump. So the opponent starts up their jump, and we say, I think they're gonna jump, but I'm gonna ping can here. You can't react to this, by the way. And there we go. This is the one time you want to be trying to read the timing of your opponent on their ledge jump. Or that's the one ledge option you want to be trying to read on the timing, and that's your ledge jump. So one of the things you can do is preemptively ping your can to hit it. So we send them back out off stage. The other thing that we can do is, let's say if we think our opponent's going to ledge jump, is that we can just meet them in the air with preemptive up airs. Ooh, let's try that again. So our opponent ledge jumps, and we say, oh, I think they're coming up, so I'm going to meet them with an up air. Or let's say we think our opponent's going to ledge jump. So we run up, and then our opponent ledge jumps. And then we can, let's say, maybe try and nair them in that position. So those are some ideas. Let's try to turn it back to normal speed. If you expect ledge jumps, you can try forward air, you can try back air, you can try preemptive nairs, you can try catching them with up air. Because you can't react to jumps, though, that's the one option you can't react to on the ledge. That's the option that your opponent will most likely figure out is the best to get out of duck hunt's ledge trap. And that is the conditioning that you end up naturally finding in most duck hunt sets, that the opponent will most usually jump from the ledge as their best escape option. And because jumping from the ledge is usually their best escape option, that's the one that you should try and read the most. Read their timing, read how they like to do it, when they like to do it. That's the most important thing to learn for duck hunt during his ledge trapping. Because by this setup, just putting can at the ledge and then reacting to a normal get up or roll, a get up attack, or some aerial from the ledge, all of those timings are pretty much reactionary things. Though those are things that you don't really need to make any type of guesses, you just need to make reactions. But any type of jump that your opponent makes has to be a guess. So because your opponent jumping is the times that you need to read the most, that's when you should condition them. So one thing we can do is, even if the opponent may not be choosing jumps from ledge, we can start throwing aerials out there, trying to make them think, oh, well, the duck hunt likes to always cover the jump from ledge, so I can just start rolling on. And the important thing about that is by doing that, you can start conditioning them to roll on stage, to pick the worst options to get back on stage later, options that you can easily punish by reacting to them later on in the set. So another thing I'd like to say about ledge trapping is, don't stop doing what's working. If your opponent keeps making bad decisions and keeps doing a normal get up or a get up attack or a roll on stage, and they're not jumping, then just keep punishing their ledge options that they keep choosing. That's something that even happens at high level of play, where top players can beat other top players because one of them is just being pretty obvious on their ledge get-ups and they're not switching it up very often. So the last thing I'd like to show is a tech you can do. If we put can right at the ledge, just like the normal ledge trap, we can do that. So if you're wondering what the heck just happened, can is very weird. Let's try and nip Lucina's head. So because Duck Hunt was facing this direction, Lucina was pulled towards that direction because Duck Hunt was facing that just by the ping of the can. But let's try to reset this in this way. And you see Lucina is now pushed away from Duck Hunt because he was facing towards the right. So dependent on what happens, facing left or right, the opponent will be pulled towards that direction as well if they're only hit by the ping of the can. Duck Hunt's just a weird character, and that is what basically is going on during this specific ledge trap. Keep in mind how big your opponent's hurt box is at the ledge affects this. So we pulled them into the stage because we were facing this way, and we can edge guard the opponent for hanging on the ledge for too long. That's another reason why you want to be facing away from the ledge during a ping setup or during a ledge trap setup, because you can set up the ping on the can like that. Because if let's say that we were facing the other direction, put can right here, and we ping, and the opponent gets pushed away from ledge. We don't want that because we can combo off of this other direction that happens. So see, just because the opponent was hanging onto ledge, just because they're thinking, I'm not going to pick a ledge option until Duck Hunt does something. Well, Duck Hunt can do something. The opponent might think, well, I'm not going to pick an option until Duck Hunt picks an option. And because of that, they can still die for just hanging on the ledge for too long. That's why two important things that you want to learn with Duck Hunt is getting that really, really specific distance right for the ledge, so that your can will hang. See, these are too far away. You want your can to hang right in the perfect position, where it only is slightly on the stage. This is probably good enough. This position where your opponent is only slightly, or where the can is just a bit off stage, right? If it's as if it were sitting here, that you can get that setup of pinging the opponent back onto stage and comboing it into an F smash or an up smash. So that's it for the ledge trapping guide. I'll probably edit a lot of this video to cut it down. Thank you guys for watching.